Hi guys, it's Ella. So I am going to do my wrap up for January today. I know it's a little bit late, but just let's leave it. I read quite a few books this month, so let's just get started. So the first book I finished in the month of January was My True Love Gave to Me, and this was edited by Stephanie Perkins. And this is the UK edition with the pink pages and with the bookmark. I love this edition so much. You don't even know. But I actually really like this. Some stories I liked more than others, that's for sure. These are 12 holiday romances. I really enjoyed some stories. Some were not so great. But that's usually how it goes with a short story collection. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was really cute, especially around the holidays. So I will probably be rereading it next Christmas as well. Next, I read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is an adult supernatural book, I guess, maybe. It is about 2 guys that know each other in college and they acquire superpowers, and then something happens and one of them goes to jail. It's written in dual perspective and dual timelines. Although it was short, it was really, really good. I believe there's going to be a second one coming out, which I'm actually really excited. Victoria Schwab has a very interesting way of writing. Her language is really beautiful, and some of the comparisons and phrases that she uses are really quite on point. I do have some of them marked. And the story was definitely very, very interesting. I would definitely recommend this book. It got 5 out of 5 stars, and I have filmed a review for this. It's not up yet, but keep an eyeball out. Next, I read Inside Out and Back Again by Tana Lay. I have no idea how to pronounce this author's name. This is a middle grade book written in verse, and it was excellent. I also filmed a review for this. It is also not up, but it will be shortly. This was phenomenal. This is technically fiction, but it was written by the author based on her own personal experiences. This is about a young girl who leaves Vietnam during the war and comes to the United States with her family. And it's just, you wouldn't think that it would be so good since it is written in verse, and I mean, I blew through it. This is a super short book, but it was so well done and so touching and so excellent. Also 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I read The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. I also did a review for this book. I'll link that down below because I have posted that. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This is my favorite Holly Black book. I expected it to be worse because it is standalone and it is relatively short, but I enjoyed it immensely. This is about a town where everybody in the town knows that fairies live in their forest. There's also a horned boy in a glass coffin in the middle of the forest that's asleep, and he has not waken up for generations and generations. But it's about so much more than that. It's also about a sister-brother relationship, and it's well written. The story is beautiful. It's really touching. I would strongly recommend this book. Like I said, if you want more, I'll leave my review down below, so check it out. Next, I read Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and I know this is a summer book, and I know it's the middle of winter, but I did not expect to like this as much as I did. I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely enjoyed the story. Mostly I liked it because of all the tasks that Emily, the main character, had to do and just seeing her character growth. Sloane, the best friend, was a terrible character. This is about a girl who, during the summer, her best friend leaves and she finds a list of things that she's supposed to do. And so she does all these things, but she grows so much as a character in the process. Emily is fun and spunky, and just being in her head is really quite fun, and just seeing her grow from the very beginning of the book when it opens to the final parts of the book is really quite extraordinary. Sloane was a terrible best friend, I have to say. I know a lot of people like that character. I did not, but I really, really enjoyed this book. The reason why I knocked it down 1 star is because the crazy love twist in here I felt was completely unnecessary. It just added a little angst that was completely unnecessary, and nobody needed that angst. So That's why I knocked it down 1 star, but it was still an excellent book. Next, I read Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and this is a graphic novel. This is both. This is a bind-up of volume 1 and 2. I have very mixed feelings about this book. This is a graphic novel memoir, I guess you could call it. Art Spiegelman gets his father's story from when he was in Auschwitz and kind of everything that led up to it. I have really mixed feelings about this book because of personal reasons. I am going to be doing a full review of this. It's just, I don't even know where to start. And I feel like a lot of people give this 5 out of 5 stars just because of its subject matter. And while I don't particularly condone that, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Let me just leave it at that and move on. But if you want to know more, keep an eyeball out for my review. Next, I read Wicked by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is a new adult paranormal book about a girl who is essentially a fairy hunter in Louisiana. Fairies are evil and these people have to kill them. And then she meets a guy and he's a fairy hunter too, and there's twists and turns and sexy times, and I actually really did like this. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. It was a fun story. This is book 1 in a new trilogy, I believe, and it's also self-published, so I can get on board with that. But it was still a fun story. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and I will definitely be continuing with the series. Next, I read Easy by Tamara Weber. This is another new adult romance, I guess you could call it. Now this was interesting. I did not expect to like this. This is about a girl named Jacqueline, and this book opens up with attempted rape. Definitely not what I was expecting to get into the hard stuff right away. There is a guy that kind of stops the rape from happening. Lucas is his name, but then they kind of sort of form a friendship and they're both in college and he's got issues of his own, and it was definitely not heavy on the sex. So this, for you out there who have not read any new adult but might be interested in maybe dipping your toes in the water, well, this is a bit of a heavier subject matter because it is rape and kind of accosting women and all of that, but there's also some violence going on. This really was quite a good book. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely did not expect to like it as much as I did. And I believe I will be picking up the second one as well. It is a companion novel from Lucas's point of view. Next, I read Legend by Marie Lu, and this is a dystopian. It's so hard to come up with an explanation what it's about. It is about a guy who is a fugitive, basically, from the government, and about a girl who is like the government's golden child. It does switch points of view, which I thought was interesting. There is an aspect of mystery to this one as well. I am planning on continuing on with the trilogy. All the books are out. I finally picked it up. Yay! It was definitely well written. It was fast-paced and interesting. The characters were very interesting, but the kind of insta-loviness knocked it down 1 star, so I did give this book 4 out of 5 stars. And finally, I'm going to mention Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. If you see this dangly thing, that's my bookmark. I am 2/3 of the way through. That's why I figure I can mention this in my wrap-up because I've read more than I haven't, and this is a chunker. I am planning on finishing this book in February, so I guess you could call it my to-be-read pile now. I am planning on finishing this up in February. I had to take a break. This is quite a heavy book. The descriptions, while they're rich, they are a little bit long. Also, Vin, the main character, is a little bit silly. I know everybody loves this book, and I'm sure I will too. It's just right now I'm like, oh my god, girl, I'm over you. The next book that I'm planning on picking up in February is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Ashley. I will leave her channel down below. This is messing up my white balance. But we are going to be buddy reading this. This is kind of about vampires, and it's like supernatural mystery, murder, gore and blood and dead mosquitoes, apparently. So we're gonna go with that. This is quite a chunker. This is an adult novel. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I've heard really, really good things about Joe Hill, so I am really excited about this. And next, I'm going to tell you about a book, and I will try not to fangirl because I love it. I am reading this right now. It is The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Holy bananas, man. I first started this book yesterday. I got about 30 pages in and I was not feeling it. And then the action picked up. This is excellent. This is a fantasy book about a society where people that have kind of special powers bleed silver, and then, so they're the silvers, and then the reds, they're the poor, you know, grueling people that just work and whatever. But this girl has red blood and has a power. Fantastic so far. I will definitely be doing a review of this one when I finish it as well, so keep an eyeball out for that. Let me know some of the books you're planning on reading this month, or if you would like to see reviews on any of the ones that I mentioned that I read last month that I haven't done reviews on, although I might just do reviews anyway. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely let me know down in the doohickey, and I hope you have a great night, and I will see you soon. Bye! This book opens with our main character. What is her name? I'm terrible with character names. What is happening? The